Probably most of my life I've been interested in working with my hands, taking things apart, putting things back together, owning motorcycles with my father, working on motorcycles. That led me to moving to America. I can walk right outside of my front door when there's a rocket launch and just watch it go up, and I never thought for a second that I'd be actually here working on them. Hi, my name is Craig Tretheway. I am an aerospace engineering technician. My job is to support and help with resupply to the International Space Station. We're dealing with equipment that helps do a serious job. We resupply the International Space Station with breathing air for the men and women that are up there. They rely on us to do a good job down here so that they can do their job up there. We use special design tanks. We have the NORS tanks, which are the nitrous oxide and oxygen resupply systems, or we have the COTS tanks, which are the commercial off-the-shelf tanks. Depending on what kind of situation we're in, we will either fill up the NORS tanks or the COTS tanks, and we will then send them up in a resupply mission up to the space station so they have their new breathable air. We also fill up their PBAs, which are personal breathable air bottles. It's just a personal air bottle that they can attach to themselves and they will have breathing air.
This is the on-off switch, so if we had an emergency and we had to don these masks for a fire or some emergent reason, we have these staged all over the space station. You can push these buttons here and it inflates.
When we're filling up the NORS tanks, it can take up to 24 hours to actually do the fill because you have to attach it to the system for filling it up with oxygen. And we fill them up to about 6,000 PSI. And if you think about it, a car tire is normally about 36 PSI. So that's a lot of pressure going into these tanks. So you've got to take it slow. Because it's flight hardware, and it's going up to the International Space Station, we have to make sure it's as pristine and clean as possible. It's not just like working down here where if something happens or something gets corroded, we can just switch it out real quick. It's up in space and it takes a lot of process to get something back from there and to get something up there. So we try and make sure that everything is as clean as possible. We have fun and it's a great place to work, but when it's time to work, everyone knows we got to be serious and take our job seriously and make sure it's done correctly so that we can be safe and our astronauts can be safe. I was born and raised in South Africa, so I moved to America to attend a well-known technical college that specializes in motorcycles. After graduating, I got a job at a motorcycle dealership and I worked there for 10 years as a master technician. I've always prided myself in wanting to expand my horizons, and I'm always feeling like I always want to learn more things. So I ended up going back to college, and through doing that, I got in touch with somebody who put me onto this position. And I applied for the job, and I was lucky enough to get it. Now here I am pursuing a new career. My advice for anyone that wants to get into this industry is don't give up on your dream and keep working towards it. It's an ever-growing industry and it's always changing. This is something that is achievable for people who want to work with their hands and might be thinking about, I might want to be a motorcycle technician or a car technician. This is something else that they can think about as well. The skills from those kind of jobs translate to the type of job that I do here. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You can be someone who struggled in school. Just because you don't get amazing math scores doesn't mean you can't work in the aerospace industry. Don't give up on your dream and keep working towards it. You can't succeed without having a little bit of struggle.